Well, I'm a bit late to the party, but oh well. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be bringing you a review of the Coal Hill School collector's set, obviously based off the 1988 story Remembrance of the Daleks. This is our last classic set for this year. It's part of the last two sets, which is obviously the 12th Doctor and Davros, alongside this one, which I'm not really arsed about, but yeah, this is the sort of classic one to round off the year. And I like how they've obviously done History of the Daleks set 1 this year. Like, in terms of classic stuff, that was like the first one we had, and this is the last one. So it's nice how they've done two sets from the first and last Dalek stories of the classic era for this year. So yeah, and as you can see, I've got Ace posed, ready to, well, fire the eye off. Also, apologies about the eye. I'm going to go into why it's like that for now anyway, because you probably expected it to be like down, but it's not. And yeah, now the backdrop. No Easter eggs this time, weirdly, because we know how much El-Jabbar loves his Easter eggs, and sometimes they don't really make fucking sense. But like, for example, the Chase set had a body from Zeta Minor and some of the jungle from Planet of Evil, which is a bit strange, but okay. There's no Easter eggs on the notice board. But obviously we've got, well, the corridor, we've got the door to the cellar, we've got the stairwell, we've got the board, we have the entrance, we have the corridor, another one, and obviously this is the part where Ace and McCoy would have sort of ducked. It's a cool backdrop, obviously, to display Ace fighting off the Imperials, and yeah, not a huge ton to say. And that's all you need to see for this. Nothing interesting. Although this one's strange because, well, they give you the plot of the story, obviously. They tell you a brief part about the Dalek props, and then with this, it tells you like continuity errors when the Doctor like last mentioned how old he was. It's a weird description of Remembrance. And another thing, the Dalek eye is blue, whereas on the figure it's black. Don't know why it's like that. Maybe the prototype, obviously, is sort of like the blue from the old Imperial Dalek figures, which, oh, thank God it's not blue this time, although it's still fucking wrong, and we'll go over it. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But obviously, pause if you wish to read any of that. There you go. Just try to balance that. So the figures, we obviously have Ace and an Imperial Dalek. Now I'm gonna go over Ace first. Now with this, they have gave the face a complete repaint, and it is a hell of a lot better. This looks more like Sophie Aldred. I mean, I was actually earlier I was watching Ben Morris's review on this, Pepper Smith 11, and he even compared this to the Silver Nemesis one, which I don't own, and oh my, the two original ones are fucking terrible for a likeness to Sophie Aldred. Who knows, maybe they could revise the Silver Nemesis one. That'd be quite nice, because obviously it's got the different sort of hair piece bit on the back, because it's got the it's a ponytail, but it's like different. But yeah, oh my god, the face changed so much. It looks a hell of a lot better. This looks more like Sophie Aldred. Like, the side profiling and just from like this angle, it just screams Sophie Aldred to me, and that's what I love about it. But yeah, the face is a huge improvement over the original, which I do have, and I shall bring it in. And yeah, you can just see what's the better figure. No competition. Competition. The new one is falling over. The new one's superior in every single way. And yeah, now, obviously with Ace, she has a shit ton of badges. Now, I prefer the badges on the original one because obviously B&M are known for sort of, I don't want to say wimping out, but they will tone that if there's too much detail for them, they will tone it down. That's, for example, like why we've never had a $6 figure. It's way out of their budget. He was one of the most expensive figures to ever do in this line. So, and he was the most expensive of Wave 1, and that's why the McCoy figure we got from Silver Nemesis last year didn't have detail on his scarf, tie. Actually, he did have it in his scarf, sorry. And he didn't have any detail on his handkerchief in his pocket because it just obviously was too much detail for him to do. But with this, they've managed to keep most of it. There are differences I've noticed, so that's why I'm going to bring in the original. Now, I'm not going to go over all the fucking different badges. You can see them for yourself. Now, this is also just a dodgy one with mine, but the smiley face badge has not been done as well as the original. If it will even register its existence. It's just a bit off center. Also, another bit of detail that they've skipped it on is you can see how this sort of rocket has these two. Is it a rocket or a plane? I think it's a plane. You can see it has these two white bits here. That's not present on the new one. Is there anything else that's changed? I would say the sort of stuff of letters looks a lot more sharper on the new one. So that's something that's something they've majorly improved on. I've just noticed actually. That just looks more sharper to me. That's compared to that. Anything else that's changed? The sort of, again, rocket or plane. I can't really tell, to be honest. Well, as you can see, it has this sort of yellow bit around it, which is correct. On the new one, they have skipped out on that. And anything else? Sorry, I should have checked this before I done this review, but didn't bother to. No, I think that's it. But I mean, the paint on the badges seems to have a sort of worser look as well on the new one. I prefer the jacket on the old one for sure. I just think it looks sort of more better and sharper. I will say I am amazed that they've even done the badges at all. And we've got accessories with this fucking thing. It's amazing to me that they've went to that length, which is good. Obviously she has the black skirt with the black opaque tights and the black glossy boots. The jacket, I believe it's a bit more glossy compared to the original. And sorry you can't see her face, but I can't crop the camera up because the thing that I used to hold my phone has broke. So I'm stacking this on top of two steel books, and some cologne is keeping the camera tilted up. So there you go. But I mean, don't need to talk much about the faces anyway. You know, one looks better, one looks shit. One looks good, one looks shit. Also, actually, the hair color's slightly changed. This is a bit more lighter. This is darker. And I noticed this as well. Now, on the top, obviously has the musical instruments. So, sort of yellow. And it's an almost like red of a tint of origin. This, it's more reddish. And, again, this just looks a bit more sort of child-ish in a way. Like childlike colours, if you get what, because this just sort of looks neutral. This just looks a bit, I don't know, but there's a slight tone difference. And also it's got the musical instruments. So we have the trumpet, cello I want to say, and is that a trombone? I'm not really sure, but we've got the two musical notes, which is obviously correct. And we have the rucksack. Now, it's more or less stayed the same, although I think the older one It's a little darker, the new one's a bit more lighter. Obviously it's black, got a little tie there. You have the, don't know what you call that, but it's there. It's meant to be there. And yeah, obviously you've still got the hole at the top for her baseball bat. Now with the new one, so pretty much done talking about that one, finished. With this one, you can take the rucksack off, but, which is good that you have that choice. You can't remove the back flap. It's been glued shut on this one, which I think will be annoying for some people, but at the same time, like, I sort of understand, but they didn't need to do it anyway, though. But, oh well. So, I know that's going to be annoying for some people. And this part I always forget about. We've also got the A on the back with the C and D, obviously spelling ace. On this one, it's slightly off-centre, the A, but it's fine. I mean, it's from the back, so, you know, I need to display an ace figure like that, actually. I think that'd be cool, but I'm not going to be displaying that one like this, so it's fine. And that's a lot. Obviously, different badges. And yeah, she's got a E-ring, which is a Batman E-ring. But obviously, due to it being so minuscule, it's just a bit of blue paint, which, you know, gives the effect. And one of the badges I recognise is Spider-Man. So yeah, now, is that everything? Obviously, we've got the ponytail with the yellow scrunchie or bobble, whatever you want to call it. The articulation, her head turns side to side, her arm does a 360 degrees. We have an elbow, not an elbow, sorry, what am I about? A shoulder, ball jointed arm. We have a bicep, an elbow, a wrist. We've got a waist, bend at the knee, and we've got a thigh turn. No turn at the foot. And that's a lot. You can get very poses out of this because of it being a later figure. You know, it tends to later ones tend to have better articulation, which is great. And obviously, another accessory is the RPG launcher, rocket launcher. Now, again, this is a little change from the original. The original one, which is here. The original appears to be sort of more of a charcoal black. Well, this is a sort of more solid black. And the thing that's changed the most, now I thought that this handle was brown, and with this they've painted the two sides brown, and I thought that was inaccurate. Turns out no, because I had a look and never even noticed this. There's paint bleeds on this, because as you can see, the brown has obviously went over the silver. So this part around should be silver, so I thought it was inaccurate. It's not. So the new one's more better. The paint detail is more sharper and crisper. The rocket piece, it's slightly changed in colour as well. The original sort of more darker green. This is a bit more lighter, and the yellow, it looks a bit more paler on this. It looks a bit more better on here, I'd say, although this has a tiny bit of paint bleed. And that's pretty much it. And obviously you can, I'm just going to do this off camera because I don't want to knock it over. You can obviously take the rocket out and sort of leave it hanging on there and put it in. And there you go. Overall, excellent figure, especially if you don't have the original. And obviously, if you do have the original, you can display one with the alternate arms and have one, which is most people are probably going to be picking this one to hold the well, not have the short sleeved arms. So yeah, very nice figure, Ace. Now the Imperial Dalek. Well, I'm going to go over the articulation first. So obviously it's like all Daleks. The dome turns 360 degrees. Now the eye obviously does move up, and I'll show you putting it down. Now, due to this one being extremely rubbery, I can't pull this all the way to the top. It only goes about halfway up, which is slightly annoying, but what can you do? It's cheaper, so but that's about as high it can go without it snapping off, and it's starting to sort of come away here, so I'm not pulling up anymore. But obviously it goes down. Ball jointed plunger, which is a lot more rubbery. Ball jointed gun, and it's on freewheels. Now, obviously, I've talked about Daleks quite a lot this year, and you know, it's the sort of same thing again. The only thing that this is, well, it's white and gold, if you couldn't tell. The pupil, for some fucking reason, I'm just gonna try and balance this. They've painted it black. Now, there's been quite a lot of criticism about this. Apparently, it's supposed to be basically during production. I'm sorry, I need because of a balance like this, you can't see. Actually, you know what? Do it like that. During production, one of the it was like chrome foil. It basically fell off, which is true. And apparently, it's meant to be based off that, where black is revealed underneath the eye. That's not true, because it would be gold underneath. Because, well, first of all, why would they paint it black underneath, and then, you know, like, that would just be a waste of money. But basically, it's not meant to be like this. So what this is based off is the scene where you see them under the bridge and you can see the black reflecting in the eye, or when it's in the mothership. So yeah, so again, they've not painted it fucking chrome or silver, which is annoying. I'm sick to fucking death with this. They've released this 3 times now and they still can't get it right. It's a bit of fucking silver paint. What is so hard about it? Obviously, people thought, well, we all thought we were going to have to wait a long time to get this. We're not, because it's obviously came out in this set. Because people assumed this was going to be in the History of the Daleks set that we'll get of this. Hopefully, they release an Imperial then, and fucking do the eye silver, and not black. Anyway, yeah, obviously, it's all your traditional Dalek detail. It's nothing new for me to really go over. There's quite a few differences on this. Right, we'll start from the base. Obviously, the base is white. It's got the 2 tier where it's sort of thicker and then thinner down here, which is correct. The gun is the more straight one, which again is accurate, unlike on here where it was sort of more dipped in. It's nice to see this gun's been used a lot this year. We've seen it on the Chase Guard, we've seen it on the Mechanist Daleks, and now we've seen it on this Imperial. So it's nice that they're starting to use it a lot more. Obviously that's fair. We've obviously got the hexagon, I think. Well, it's the right shape anyway, as it should be, to obviously show that they are Imperials. And it's not like your traditional one where it's just sort of circular. The plunger, it's obviously different from your traditional plunger. It's obviously the more funnel shaped one with the 2 edges cut, and well, yeah, it's obviously for sort of locking into things. Now, there's a problem with this. It is way too short when you put it like that, because if I get the Eaglemoss one, you can see it's a lot more longer. So what I suggest you do for this is you take out the plunger. Again, I'm going to have to do this off camera. Take out the plunger, and what I suggest you do, just put it in ever so slightly. That's if you can manage, or if not, see what I mean, let's come out. Or where the little dip is to lock it into place, just push it on to that point, and there you go. It's slightly more longer now. That's how I'll do it when I put it in the shelf. But that's what I suggest you do, just if it annoys you that the plunge is really short like me. I'll do this off camera. Because yeah, it really it just looks too short, which is extremely annoying. Oh god, don't fucking bend. There we go. Another thing with this, again, the arm's really rubbery, so I'd be careful. I'd move it from here and not there, obviously. We're gonna come back to this. Obviously, now the eye. Now on the original, it was way too short. Although this kind of suits it for the plunger aspect, because I think the sort of to be honest, they're kind of more the same. Well, still a bit too small, but I think those look better in terms of, like, if you're looking at it from the aspect of the length of the plunger, then it just makes the plunger look a bit more longer, if that makes any sense. Whereas with this being a bit more bigger, it just makes it look short. But obviously, this is correct. This is the more accurate sculpt. So well done to them on that part. We've also got these sort of jam donut dome lights, which again are correct. Now this, obviously it was sort of more silver, not silver, but it was like foil, like gold foil on them. They haven't done that, and they probably never will, so never mind. Now this, the mesh section. People have been having a right uproar about this online. Me personally, I don't care, because from a distance you cannot, like, see it barely at all. Obviously, the reason why it's like this is because this sculpt was used on this, and for the Toys R Us Renegade Dalek, this isn't the Toys R Us one, this is the Remembrance one, they changed the sculpt to have that sort of mesh look for it to be more accurate. And the original Imperial Dalek mold was damaged, I believe. So obviously they're not gonna revert back. Just trying to see if there's more differences. They're not gonna change it back to this because, well, it's way too out of character options budget now anyway. So they've just went with the mesh one, and to be honest, I'm fine with it. It doesn't really bother me. If it does, just sand it down, or maybe try and fill in these bits to give it a smooth appearance or something. I don't know, whatever you want to do, but it doesn't bother me whatsoever. Obviously, it's an off-white colour. More matte on this. This is a bit more glossy. Quality control's a hell of a lot better on this one. Look, because the thing is, with like 60s Daleks and that, if they've got a few 60s and 70s, if they have a few chips and dents, I'm fine with that because it reflects the tattiness of those props. Imperial shouldn't be like that. They were brand new built props, you know, freshly made. Never been like, you know, they weren't being reused and reused like the props had been before. So I'm fine with 60s and 70s ones having chips, but these should be proper clean. And obviously, quality control on the original was not the best. It's not really coming up well, but it wasn't amazing. Like, for example, look at that. It's annoying. This nice, crisp and clean, and looks very sort of elegant. Now, obviously, the major problem with this Dalek, it's not the correct shape, because again, they were completely brand new props, so the shape was completely different. They've just reused the old same sculpt again, and it does annoy me that, because it just looks a bit too fat. If you treat it as its own thing, they're lovely, but Egomos will always win. This is the ultimate Imperial Dalek figurine sort of thing you can get, and yeah, I much prefer this. It's okay, but it's not how it should look. Like, that's what I was kind of hoping they would do. To be honest, what I would like them to do is, I would have just dropped the Ace figure entirely and completely made a new like, because they wouldn't need to alter that much anyway. They just need to alter the body and, well, I guess we need to do a new base swap, but apart from that, they wouldn't have to change anything else.